No one warned you about the day you walk into a room and then you realize you're not the young woman anymore being mentored. You're the woman someone else is watching. I spent the biggest part of my life being the youngest. They were all 10, 15, 20 years older than me when I started. And in my friend groups, I remember being in my 20s and having friends in their 30s. I was always orbiting women who were older, wiser, and a little further down the road than I watched them, I listened to them, and I asked them questions I was almost afraid to say out loud. Questions like, how did you succeed in the man's world? Keep in mind, I'm a little older, and I remember coming up where I was the only woman in the room. How did these older women do it? I remember one time talking to this woman, and she was the only vice president female of a Jesuit college in the United States. And I was just so impressed with that. And I said something to her about women's lib, because that was really big back then. Women's lib. They were always talking about it. Now it was all over the place, National Organization of Women. So I asked her about that. How did she do that? And she said, you know what? I don't talk about women's rights. I live them. And that struck me, and she became a mentor to me. Other women who became mentors to me were women friends that I knew who happened to be older than me. A woman sitting next to me in a pew at church. She was somewhat a mentor. These women, like the vice president, would say something to me that I carried on through life. They shaped me profoundly. And I always thought when I was the older woman in the room, I would be ready, settled, like I had arrived. Instead, I felt more like, wait, are they talking to me? I did not feel ready to be the mentor. And then it dawned on me, these women who helped me along the way, they probably didn't feel ready. They were just further along. And yet they chose to turn around and give me a helping hand. That's all it was. That's all it is now. But there's something specific that happens when you've been the mentee all your life, and suddenly that dynamic flips. Let me tell you a few things I've felt, and you tell me whether or not any of these are familiar. One thing, you kind of feel like a fraud. At least I did. And you wonder if these younger women are going to see right through you, especially if they realize you don't have it all figured out. Here's the secret. The women who are mentoring you, they probably felt the same way. They were just winging it. It's just that they had more experience. That's the whole game. Number two, you don't want to overstep. You remember all that unsolicited advice when you were young. So now you hold back. You bite your tongue. You kind of say to yourself, who am I to say anything to this girl? But there's a difference between imposing and offering. And you can offer without imposing. A simple, soft, would it help if I shared something with you? You don't have to be bossy Aunt Lillian at the Thanksgiving dinner. 3, you grieve the role. Some of us loved being the mentee. We loved being taken care of, guided, seen as promising. Moving out of that role can seem like a loss, even though it's really a gain. And 4, maybe the most honest one, you don't know if your experience really translates to today's world. What you've lived through, what you've learned. Does it mean anything to a 28-year-old woman? I mean, they're navigating something you've never seen before. Yes, it will matter because technology changes. The world can change in any way it wants. AI. But some things don't change, and that's what's going on inside. There's the confusion, the doubt, the fear. These are all things. I don't care what century you live in. Young women are going to feel this at some point. You've been there. You've gone through learning to trust yourself. You've done all these things. They haven't. You have a lot to share with them. I want to say something to those women who are in that in-between place right now. You're not too old to still be living, and you're not too young to be someone's touchstone. Both of these things are true at the same time, and that's not a contradiction. It's just where you are. It's kind of a beautiful place to be in, even if it is a little disorienting. The women who shaped you, they needed you, gave them purpose. Your growth gave them joy. Your trust was a gift that these women never told you they were receiving. And somewhere out there, there's a woman watching you in your 50s, the way you watched other women. She's noticing how you handle disappointment, how you speak about your own life, how you move through a room. You don't have to have a formal mentoring relationship. You don't have to write a book that says mentor on it. You just have to show up as a real person with a real history who's interested in helping someone just be. That's the whole thing. That's what those women gave you, and that's what you'll return to the next. So here's what I want to leave for you today. The next time you walk into a room and realize you're the oldest woman there, don't perform, don't shrink, don't pretend you have it all figured out. Just be present, be curious. And if the opportunity comes out to reach back and help another person, do it. That's the whole legacy, not the titles, not even your major accomplishments. It's reaching back. I'd love to hear in the comments, was there somebody who mentored you, who had an impact on you? Please subscribe if you can, and thanks for the chat.